girls and boys of YouTube. Indiana Pepsi here, and a bit of a mess, but I'm not worried about it, don't care. Today we're going to be talking about a game that doesn't work. EA Sports FIFA 14 for the PlayStation 3. I'm not sure how many people are having these problems or whatever, but I've seen them online, so I know I'm not the only one. I've had the game since way before Christmas. I've done 2 manager careers over the 15 seasons, and I've done tried countless numbers of be a pro mode careers as a player. The manager career starts off fine. We'll start with the manager career. Starts off fine. It's okay. It gets very, very randomized, I have found. Both of the careers I've done, it gets very, very randomized. After about the first one, it was on like 3 or 4 season, 3rd or 4th season, and the second one, it was about the 6th, maybe 7th season. It started going very, very randomized. I pick Liverpool FC, of course. That's my team I support. But in the first career mode, everything was going normal. Top 4 was as it should be, and so on and so forth. And promotions and relegations and all weren't too bad. And it was going all fun. On the 4th season, at the end of the 3rd season, something very weird happened. And that is, Arsenal were relegated. Not impossible, but Arsenal were relegated. Aston Villa were relegated. And Cardiff City, who were up there, had managed to stay in the Premier League, were relegated. And Middlesbrough came up, Nottingham Forest came up, and I think it was Barnsley was the other team. I'm not sure. I think it was Barnsley, the other team that came up. Anyway, the promotions were fine. Arsenal and Aston Villa being relegated, a bit dodgy on it, you know. Not only this, at the Christmas point during that season, I was top of the league. I play it on world class. Don't play it on legendary yet, but I've tried. But it's quite tough on legendary for me just yet. But I was top of the league by about 4 points at Christmas. Fulham were 2nd, Southampton were 3rd, and Queen's Park Rangers were 4th. Arsenal, as we just mentioned, and Aston Villa, they were in the Championship. When I checked out the Championship, Aston Villa were near relegation zone and Arsenal were in 10th, not even in the playoff spot. And this was at Christmas. Cardiff, by the way, were leading the Championship by about 7 points. Anyway, then Manchester City were like 14th, Man U were 9th, and Chelsea were 7th. You know, and I found that from here on, it just got pretty randomized. It was like the game chose at the start of the season who was going to be relegated and who was going to finish off where. It just seemed pretty random, because teams at one point in one of the seasons in that first career, about 7th or 8th season, I had teams like, and they never seem to buy or sell that many players, and when they do, which is another thing actually we'll get into in a minute, but anyway, yeah, QPR finished 2nd. I even had a season, I think it was 2 or 3 seasons from the end of the first career, where Swansea City got to the semi-final of the Champions League and lost like 5-4 on penalties or something. You know, but it was me against PAOK. Was it POAK or PAOK? Anyway, in the final, you know, and I won it, and I ended up playing Hibernian in the Super Cup because they won the Euro League or the Euro Cup, whatever. You know, it boggles the mind when it gets that far in. Pretty much the second managerial thing went the same way. Slightly different teams, maybe different ways. Man U actually got relegated this time, and Chelsea got relegated. A few other big teams as went on got relegated, but I found it being very, very randomised. Very similar thing happened. But that wasn't too bad. I mean, these are all things that they're in the future. Nobody can predict what's going to happen, so you never know that could possibly happen, I suppose. You know, I'm sure the Arsenal players and Man U players would love it if they got relegated at some stage. But anyway, the problems I'm having the most with in the main game are the Be a Pro. I have an Origin account, obviously, linked with my PSN. I thought you can do a game face and stuff. It worked fine for the FIFA 13. It worked fine for FIFA 12. And I went on to my Origin account, signed in. There's my little thing at the bottom, PSN, linked to my gamer tag. You know, on my PS3. I've used it for other games such as Fight Night Championship and things, and I use it with the Sims. I play for the PC. Anyway, thank God Max has come back into that. But anyway, I goes on. I create my gamer face. Everything goes brilliant. Spends a lot of time editing, changing it around and stuff. Going to the FIFA 14, and I get the message saying, "It appears you don't have a gamer face created. Please go and create your gamer face." Well, just to be on the safe side, I gave Origin /EA a phone call. I checked all my IDs, all my PSN persona and everything, made sure everything was double checked, and that was the Origin account and stuff that was linked to, and everything was perfect. It was all linked together, great. Everything worked out fine that way, and the girl did not have a clue on the phone why it wasn't working, that it should work. She said to hold. She went away and did something for almost 10 minutes. Came back and said that should work now. I went in and found that whatever she had done, everything on the game face had been reset. So I started off, used the same pictures that I used, the front and the side, and I loaded it up, Junga, and rendered it, went into FIFA, and guess what? It appears you don't have a game face created. Please go to www.eastupid.co.uk.com.up your bum. They don't have a clue. It doesn't work. It really doesn't work. So I thought, bugger it. I just went ahead and played my pro by making a player who looked a wee bit like me, even with the ponytail. Yay! But so the first season of my first pro career, right? I made my pro. I was 68 or 69 overall. I was a striker. I was short. I was about 5'5", 5'6", which is about my height. Maybe 5'4". But I was about 68, 69. Everything was pretty good. They wanted me to go out on loan. I said no. I wanted to stay here. They said no, go on loan. I said no. So I stayed at Liverpool and kept on refusing to everybody. In the first season, I got 4 games, and they were all League Cup games, and that was all I got. Second season, then it kicked off. It went great, and got through the second season. No problem. It's a little bit more tough because I think we finished 3rd in the league. We were on world class well, I was on world class. And it is quite tough because you're down and you're facing the players, so to try and dribble around with skill and all this kind of stuff, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But I got myself up to 77 in the second season overall, my stats. I scored something like 7 or 8 goals. For some reason he picked me virtually every game. And the third season, play 4 or 5 games, get to transfer deadline day, doesn't work. Nothing works. You click and it goes ding, 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 goes to 9 hours, and it reset itself to 10 hours. Straight away. Reset itself to 10 hours. Did not work. And just to let people know, I don't have like 7 or 8 games going in a row. I never try. I only ever played one at a time. After my managerial careers, those save files were all erased and I started from scratch. Pretty much. I don't like to have 2 save files at the same time, just in case it sometimes would confuse the game or confuse the PlayStation. And so off I go again 7 times. Every time it did the same thing on transfer deadline day. And okay, I didn't play Be a Pro for quite a while. Just played some FUT, Ultimate Team and bits and bobs, and of course those managerial ones took me a long time. Anyway, the other week there I started up, well, it was about 2 weeks ago, I started up another Be a Pro. I thought, we'll give it a go again. And same thing happened with the face, the game face. I tried it, didn't work. I tried several different things. I unlinked my account, made a whole brand new Origin account and relinked it up with a brand new Origin account and relinked it. And they said it should work fine. Nope, apparently I didn't have a game face still to download, so it doesn't work. I don't know what's going on, but the gamer face thing does not work. It just will keep on saying there is no gamer face, go and make one. It doesn't even matter if you have a golden computer and platinum control pads on your PlayStation, the gaming face thing is not going to work. If you get it to work, champion, please tell me how you got it to work, because I can't. And no matter what they do, no matter what I do, I can't get it to work. And other people have this problem too. This time I decided to take a loan, because I spent so much time in the first season, my first pro, which was just after Christmas, mid-January, late January time. I took a loan and I went to Sheffield Wednesday. I got playing every game. I scored 79 goals, just me. The whole team scored like 128 goals or something, and I scored 79 of them. And we got promoted about 30 points clear at the top of the league. Brilliant. So I goes back and start playing for. I went to the World Cup, by the way. They took me to the World Cup, and by this stage I was in 82 overall because I played so many games, and everything was going wonderful. I played the three group games. I had scored 4 goals, and the manager of England said, we don't want to have you in. Roy Hodgson says, bro, you're not picked for this game, and he picked Wayne Rooney up front, and it was against Germany in the last 16, and you'll never guess what happened. I sat on the sidelines, on my living room on the sidelines, watching, the simulation of the game of England getting beat on penalties after being 2-0 up by Germany. Yeah. Class. But anyway, go back and start playing for Liverpool again. Everything goes okay. Play a few games. Liverpool are top of the league. I go to transfer deadline day, and it crashes again. This time I wrote things down on a notepad that I've got in here, just to keep myself. 17 times I loaded this, and 17 times for some reason it only happens when it gives me a game on transfer deadline day, and I don't think I can remember ever there being a game on transfer deadline day. Transfer deadline day is usually on a day where there's no games. but it gives me a game on transfer deadline day. You play the game, and then the deadline day crashes. I have done, one other career before being pro mode where the first deadline day was perfect because I had no game on it. But then the one at Christmas time, it crashed on me and did the same thing over and over and over again. No matter what you do, it just does the same thing, and the timer doesn't go down and it freezes. And once it freezes, you can't even push the PSM button in the middle. You try and press that button in the middle and nothing happens. You have to actually walk over and turn your system off and then do your 3-hour scan to make sure everything's okay. It's really annoying and it's really, really buggy. Lots of other things about this game are very, very weird, to say the least. For example, transfers. When you see a team getting promoted, they don't. You can't exactly keep an eye day to day on the transfers, but you can see what's happening and what's not happening, kind of thing, in news reports, and you can go to you can go to team statistics and check out their players. And I've seen teams selling half decent players, and then they buy in players that are about 67 to 70 instead of trying to go for players that are 75 to 78 to try and boost their chances of staying in the Premier League. They tend to not go for better players. They either stick with the same team or tend to sell good players and go for weaker players. I've seen Liverpool do some weird things like that campaign I was talking about where I couldn't get past the deadline day. They sold Suarez for 18 million and they bought in some guy LAAMP or something weird name I couldn't pronounce. And when you checked his stats, they paid I think it was 15.9 million for him, and he was a 76. And they had Luis Suarez. You wonder what the heck's going on. Why they didn't, one, get more for him, or two, just not sell him in the first place. They have a tendency to do that, is to sell their key players and then buy in crappier players, which I don't like when you're not in control of it. And I've played in some of the career modes I've done. Some of the players at Liverpool, they develop completely different every time. But I've had Suarez at a 95. I've had Sturridge in the 90s, about 1991. I've had Sterling up touching the 90s. Joe Allen, if you really, really play him and you get the ball to him a lot and do what, the midfield stuff that he's meant to do. Because, if you look at career mode as a manager, everything works the same as what it does in being pro mode. You'll have your little achievements, dribble around 10 players and do this. You kind of have to do similar things like that in manager mode, except you're controlling the whole team. So you've got to get the crosses in for the wingers and the midfielders and the tackles in. And anyway, it doesn't work. This transfer system is really weird. They sell good players and get in crappy players. For some reason it didn't even look like Man U were trying, or Arsenal didn't even try, because Arsenal never got promoted again. In that first career manager mode I did, they stayed in the championship for like 7 seasons, and they got rid of Podolski and all their top players, and they never brought in any good players, and they just never got promoted. I always keep a check on the other leagues during the career mode, and the being pro mode, when I went on loan for Sheffield Wednesday and was able to do the whole season with Sheffield Wednesday, I discovered it's random. And I have seen me was one time looked at the league. Liverpool was top. Liverpool was top. Arsenal was second. Everton was third. Man City was fourth. Man U were fifth. Chelsea were second, or whatever. They were all, the top teams were there, but there was a couple of teams there that shouldn't be there. I saved my game, I logged out, and I turned the PlayStation off, turned it back on, logged back in, turned the game back on, loaded my save file, went back in, and the league was completely different. It was completely different. The other leagues was completely different. I hadn't played any more games. The league teams hadn't played any more games, but Liverpool had went from the top to 7th. Man U were now at the top. Man City were 2nd. Southampton were 3rd. Arsenal were 4th. It's very random. I don't know if that's something that happens to everybody, but as far as I can tell, the other leagues in this game, when you're playing Be a Pro mode, maybe even manager mode, I don't know. If you go, do it. See if it happens to you. Keep an eye on the other leagues. Play a couple of games, then jot down what the Spanish league and the Scottish league and the Championship or whatever, just jot a few different leagues down, the first 3 or 4 things, and see what happens. Then next time you load the game up to play, check them again and see where everybody is. Because mine, they're different all the time. Sometimes it's only subtle changes, like a team will be in 3rd instead of 2nd. But sometimes it's a team that will be in the top 4 and suddenly they're down in 15th. And it's not the league. The league you're playing in seems to be stable and stay the way it does and doesn't get randomised. But the other leagues around you don't seem, for me, to be set. They get randomised and they get changed around. From the time you save your game and turn it off and load it in, somebody comes along and makes up their own little league table and changes all the teams around. And that's what I find, for me anyway, during the game. So you guys can check it out or whatever you want to do. But in general, it's a very slow game. Casinos has been designed more or less for PlayStation 4 and kind of downgraded and redone for PlayStation 3. The menu system is atrocious. It's laggy, it's horrible, and it just doesn't work well. The transfer system is woeful. I hate the new scouting system. I understand for youth players and for younger players, maybe you won't be able to understand their stats, but let's face it, if you're going for Ronaldo and you can't see all the stats, there's something wrong. Because everyone knows what Ronaldo is, everyone knows what Messi is, everyone knows what Stevie Gerrard is, but you still can't see a lot of their stats if you're going to try and buy that player. You have to scout them first, which is just silly. It's just a lot of aspects on the game. The mechanics have not been improved. Gameplay is woeful. It's much too arcadey. You never get penalties. Never get penalties or free kicks. You get plenty of them against you. I've seen me in the box walking over, and we tap to sidestep the keeper. The keeper grabbing me and pulling me down, like doing this, trying to save the ball, but the ball's over here, and he's hitting my feet, and it's not a penalty. And it's the same with I've seen computer control players in Be a Pro mode being dragged to the floor by other players and don't get free kicks around the box, don't get penalties. And I've tried this in all difficulty levels, and the difficulty levels doesn't seem to help. It doesn't seem to help. And you can't improve your free kick unless you get to take free kicks. And even if you do get a free kick round the box and Be a Pro mode, the manager isn't going to let you take it because you're not good enough at free kicks. You have to wait for 3, 4, maybe 5 seasons until you're good enough and he thinks you're ready for the captain's armband. Then you can choose who takes the penalties and free kicks. But until that point, you can't get your penalties better. You can't get your free kicks better, because even if you can magically get a free kick or a penalty, you don't get to take it because you're not good enough to take it. And the only way you can get better is by taking them. Try that for a paradox round robin. And it's kind of, they're really difficult. And as opposed to other football games, I'm sure ones all know which one I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention it because we're talking about FIFA, and You know, oh, I saw it. I'm going to mention it. If it gets taken down, it gets taken down. I don't care. I'm at the point now. I'm really angry. PES. I have played PES. I've got PES 14. I've got FIFA 14. PES 14, yes, it doesn't have licenses. Yes, it doesn't have certain things in there. But that means you can have a little bit more fun, because you can choose little sponsorships. You can change teams' names around. You can change players' names around, you know. I had a team in there named after the town I live in, and I had people like Roy the Rovers and stuff and Spider-Man playing for me. I had the Hulk in nets, you know. Nobody was going to score past that guy. That's where PES becomes fun. But in PES, it's a proper, real simulation of football. It doesn't have the depth and the strength in some ways that FIFA does. But FIFA's much too arcadey, and they're all in for this. Oh, we can't do this because a child might be playing. Football's football. A child will watch a football match on TV. You know, I'm sure plenty of kids watch Suarez taking a chunk out of Ivanovic's arm. You know, it doesn't matter if you try and hide these things from a game. They're going to see them on TV. You know, I've got a little niece who's 14 years old. Try telling her to stop watching Paranormal Activity. Try and stop her from watching and playing Resident Evil games and stuff and Silent Hill. She'll slap you in the beak. You know. Whereas in PES, you can dive. There's a dive button. I'd say about 60% of the time or 70% of the time you don't get away with it. You know, I've even done some ridiculous ones where there's been nobody near me. I've ran into the box with nobody near me and dived. I've got a red card for it. But you have these things at your dispense, like in real football. And sometimes they work brilliantly. If you're in a busy box with the ball at your feet, sidestep and dive when someone's just about to put a tackle in, you'll get a penalty. And it's brilliant the way you can work these things. And the same with free kicks outside the box. The shooting system, the control system, the skill system, they're all better than FIFA. They're more simulation based, and they're slightly better. The controls are easier to use. And that the Be a Pro is so much better than FIFA. You get substituted. You get substituted on. FIFA, you're either picked for the squad or you're not. The only way you can get subbed during a match is if you press start and request a substitute. That's it. Whereas if in PES, if you're having a crappy game, off. If you're knackered, off. They put you on the bench. In the last 10 minutes, they'll put you on. You could be that guy in the last 10 minutes that scores that equalising goal. Or you could be that guy in the last 10 minutes that scores a cracking winner, or gets a vital penalty, or clears a ball off a line, whatever. You can do that. You can be that. But you don't get any of that, like, anticipation. You don't have to sit and watch the match from the bench and say, come on, let me on, boss, let me on, I want to play. There's no tension. It's arcade. It's an arcade football game, and there's no tension. There's no you don't feel that involved when you're playing FIFA. You know, every game almost feels like a friendly match. You're just doing the random generating match game. It doesn't really feel like you're really getting in there. You know, and there's not even any kind of behind the scenes type of stuff. You know, I mean, no award ceremonies, no trophy ceremonies. There's nothing like papers or anything like that. You can't do really anything in it. You know, I mean, I've been disappointed with the manager mode on FIFA every year. It's terrible. You know, it's terrible. Like, for example, what the hell is it with player messages? As a manager, you can't reply to them. Boss, I think I need to be playing more. And you'll get these from the most ridiculous bloody players who are crap. Mickey Dobson or something, who's like a 51. Are you really going to pick Martin Skirtle ahead of me, boss? I think I'm your best choice. And you can't reply to him saying anything. Or give him a reason why you're not picking him. You know, you can't do that. It's really annoying when you get bombarded with messages from players gurning because they're not getting played, or gurning for whatever reason. I want more wages, I want this. And you can't reply to them. You can say nothing to them. And it's the same when you're the player, when you're being a pro. You can't give those messages to your manager. You can't say, why was I not picked, bitch? You can't bombard your manager with messages. No. You know, and you can't really do that either in PES, I suppose, but you can do, you've got a lot more freedom in PES, and you can do several different things in PES that you can't do in FIFA. That's just the bottom line. And FIFA is broken, PES works pretty good. You know, FIFA just doesn't seem to work that good at all. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. And don't even get me started as being a goalkeeper. That is hilarious. You be a goalkeeper, you basically are a guy who stands there all day long doing nothing on any difficulty level. It doesn't matter what difficulty level you play it on. And I've done it before. I tried a career mode. I got to Christmas and turned it off because I had like 7 0-0 draws in a row. And what's bad is you're told to be 6 in your rating on average throughout the season. You've got to keep your rating above a 6. You've got to make so many saves. How can you do these things when nobody comes near you? You don't get a chance to make a save. You know, I mean, I've constantly finished with my rating as a 3.5, 4, maybe a 5 if I'm lucky, because nobody comes near me, and your rating goes down, which is a crock of crap. Your rating should not go down unless you do something stupid or make a mistake, like getting a yellow card, getting a red card, giving away free kicks, making a mistake on an easy tackle, giving the ball away. These are reasons why your rating should go down. If you're standing there doing nothing, your rating should not fall down. For being good, you go up. For being bad or crap, you go down. For staying the same and not doing anything during the game, it should stay where it is. And I've seen me making a couple of really good saves and my rating going up to an 8. Right? And I've seen me making this amazing save, a defender making a complete cock up, and giving the ball away while my keeper's on the ground. I'm on the ground as the keeper. This happens within 3 seconds. It's save, cock up, goal. I get the blame for it, and my rating goes from 8 down to 4. It's halved. After all that work up I did. And I've seen myself still winning the game 4-1. The other keeper, Ed DeHay, or whoever it may be, gets a rating of like 8.9, 9.4, whatever. A big high rating. And he's letting 4 bloody well goals. I made 3 or 4 really good saves and let in 1 goal which I could do nothing about because my defender cocked up, and I got a rating of 4.9. The game is too punishing to be a goalkeeper. It is not fun. You either get no shots against you, or when you do get them against you, a goal will destroy any chance you have of getting a rating over 5. You know, it's not well thought out in any way, shape or form. This is a world sport. FIFA should be, in my opinion, developed by EA Sports United Kingdom, or a European-based company, the European-based EA Sports, because, and with all due respect to Americans or Canadians or whoever, Canadians should develop the NHL games, because that's what they're used to, that's what they love playing, ice hockey. The American branch of EA should do baseball games and should do football games. That's what they are good at. Excuse me, they're like you know, super duper people at football and baseball. Canadians are super duper people at hockey. You know, and the Europeans are super duper at football. You know, and they know everything there is to know about football. So they should be the ones to develop FIFA football. It's that simple. I think the game would be much, much better. You know, if people stuck to what they're good at, you know. It's as simple as that. I mean, in short, it's FIFA is a horrible game. You know, there's not very many upgrades in gameplay or anything. This pure shot and all that stuff is complete and utter rubbish. For me, the shooting is exactly the bloody same as what it is in FIFA 13. Whether it's on assisted, semi-assisted or manual. I usually play it on manual, because if you play it on semi-assisted or assisted, you cannot get those beautiful 30-yard top corner shots and all, because the ball will just aim towards that goal, and more often than not it's too close to the keeper and he'll save it. So I always play with my shooting on manual to get all those beautiful strikes. I score some amazing goals. I really do come to score some good goals, and there are times when the game will play flawlessly and you can have fun. But it's more fun to play a game with a mate or a mate online. It's more fun to do that than what it is to play the career modes. And I'm a career mode guy. I'm not an ultimate team guy. I don't like it. I've tried it and I get so unlucky. I've got a pure goal team. I've got some really good players in my team, but I seem to have a crap version of those players. Like, I've done some googly results, searches, and apparently there is like the proper version of the best players in the world, and then there's a good version and a crap version. I'm not sure how true this is in some of the Google results I'm finding, but anyway, I mean, I've got players who should be, like I've got Thomas Muller in my team, and he's an amazing player, and I think he should be, I think he's 85 or 88 or something in game, but he can go way higher than that. The one I have of him is 76, and I have no idea why he's down that low. And yet it is Thomas Muller, and he does play for Bayern Munich, and you know, so and he's a goal player. So I think I just get unlucky and all, and I'm not going to spend any more money on it to get more unlucky and not get the players you need. I constantly come up against players who've got these team full of 90s and 95s, and I'm sitting with a team that's all gold, and they're still only 76 to 78, and they're not a good team, you know. And I'm not great at FIFA. I'm not the best player in the world, but it's also harder when you come up against a team, a player that's not only as good as you or a little better than you, but he's got a team that's all in the 90s and have, you know, flying past you and sprinting faster than you can't catch them up to tackle. And I prefer playing my career modes, and the career mode really is not good. The free kick system is woeful. Hate the free kick system. The free kick system was so much easier when you had a targeting rectangle. You pointed the rectangle where you wanted the free kick to go. If you hit it too hard, it would go a little bit further out than the rectangle. You still had to hit it perfectly in the middle of your free kick. A free kick should be like a penalty. You have a targeting rectangle you can put in the top corner or the bottom corner or wherever you want to put it. And then you have your meter and you have to get it perfect. Otherwise, and the same way it was with the old bend on the ball and everything, you chose exactly what way you wanted the ball to bend and how you wanted to do it. And if you didn't get it set up perfect, it would miss. But the way it is now, you got no idea what the hell you're doing. I've taken about 75 free kicks in FIFA, all mainly in manager mode, because it's too hard to get them in be a pro. I've never scored a free kick in FIFA. Ever. They all get saved by the keeper. I've had them go near top corner, but the keeper will take 6 side steps and save it. Or he'll dive from what's an unbelievable distance and save it. And you can't get it right to that top corner perfectly. When you're on a field and you're taking a free kick, it's completely different. It's completely different because you're controlling your foot in the ball. But constantly in this game, the players have a habit of not doing what you tell them to do. You kick a ball and put curve on it, they'll put curve on it, but the ball will go like this and then curl the other way and go straight into the keeper's hands or go wide. They try and hit outside of the boot shots when you don't want them to. Even if you have the outside of the boot trait turned off, my little beer pro still tried to hit outside of the boots. One of the things I had to get was hitting outside the box with my bad foot. I wanted to get that achievement so I could get one more star on my bad foot. And he kept on trying to hit outside of the boot shots with the right foot all the time. He never tried to hit with his bad foot ever. With the trait on or off, it was still outside of the boot shots. He didn't try. And the traits don't seem to do that much. Anyway, I don't think. But anyway, short, the game is a woeful game. It's terrible. It's not good. Be a Pro doesn't want to work for me and seems to randomise the other leagues every time you save and turn it off and then turn it back on. The other leagues seem to be all randomised. It crashes all the time. I've never been able to make it past 2 seasons in Be a Pro. Never. I've gotten 1 season completed and then to the transfer deadline day of the next season and it cocks up. So it's never worked for me. Manager mode career has always messed up and went very googly and random, relegating teams that really shouldn't be relegated. It's a possibility they could be at some time in the future. We don't know that, I suppose, but the likelihood of that is not very. Well, it's not very likely that an Arsenal or a Man U or anything is going to get relegated, But that's what happens in my game. And it's just very tiresome. I don't know what FIFA 14 is like for PlayStation 4. It looks very good, but I've not played it, so I don't know how it handles. I don't know if any of these problems are different. I've heard that certain things have been taken away. I'm annoyed that the game face doesn't work. Why would it be in the game if it doesn't let you download it and let you work it? It doesn't work. It's as simple as that. It doesn't work. And I've checked several times, more than several times, to make sure everything's linked properly. And everything is linked perfect. But yet it just doesn't want to work. No matter what I do, it won't work. So that's my rant for FIFA over. It's been a bit of a long one, I suppose what I'm usually do. If you've watched this video the whole way through and say the word poo poo face, if you have some of the same problems I am ever encountering or I have, please let me know. And if anybody out there has any fixes for any of these crashes, there hasn't been any downloads, any upgrades for months for FIFA, so it seems like they're not even going to try and fix the problems. But all I get is crash after crash after crash, no matter what I do. And it's very googly and random. It's too arcadey. You never get given penalties or free kicks. And it's just an all-round hash of a game. EA need to go back to the drawing board. They need to send out scouts and watch video after video after video of football match. They need to research and learn football. Not American football. World football. FIFA. They need to research and see how the game flows, how it works. And then they need to make a game that is actually like football. Not one that is like crap. Bye.